Hello everybody, my name's Spy. Welcome back to the last pain and suffering game of the 2025 Eagles season. The pain, the suffering is over. The season is done. And it crumbled and burned to ashes a year removed after winning the Super Bowl. We're going to talk about the Eagles' loss here to the 49ers in brutal, collapsing fashion. I mean, nothing really new for this team this year. We're going to go over all that here today and talk about why Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni got to get out of here. So, anybody with a pair of functioning eyes, I think, knew this was coming. The Eagles' offense all year had been a train wreck, a burning house, a joke. They've been horrible. They've been horrible. And when it really got worse, I mean, I'll pull it up right here, is after the bye week. They come off that bye week, and they put up 18 points per game on average. So the bye week happens against the Giants. They put up 10 points against the Packers, 16 against the Lions. They lose to the Cowboys. They go up 21-0 and blow that game. That's when we should have known that, hey, this is over, okay? The Bears, they put up 15 points. The Chargers, they put up 19. The Raiders are the worst team in football. Who cares that they won that game? The Commanders suck. And the Bills, they put up 13 points, and they almost lost that game. If Josh Allen makes that throw, that game's over. That is an L. And the backups, I mean, I'm not going to really comment too much on that. I mean, the play calling in that game was horrible, right? Pretty bad. But you just look at this, and it's a joke. I mean, they came out of the bye week. Teams adjusted to Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni's BS, and it got worse. You want to know why they won these games? Their defense. Defense was elite against the Packers, elite against the Lions. The Cowboys, it was good when they went up 21-0, but instead of finishing the game off, they let the Cowboys right back into it. The Bears' defense got destroyed, but they still only put up 24 points. Okay? Chargers only put up 22 points. The Eagles' defense this year was amazing. And it got wasted. Because you're not winning football games with Kevin Patullo. This isn't working, okay? I mean, if we just want to talk about, let's just go to the last play of the game. I was going to save this. I mean, this is what we want to talk about, right? So we have a thing here. This is from Kevin Smith, great guy on Twitter. Go check him out. Posts a lot of great things, but here's all the plays in order the Eagles ran on their final drive yesterday with a plus for completion and an X for a sack or an incompletion. So here we go. Here's what they dialed up. Last series of the game, put up or shut up. 4 verts, 4 hitches, slants and flats, mesh, which they can still run sometimes, 4 hitches, double slant didn't work, double slant with verts didn't work, spacing concept didn't work, and then obviously the 4 verts at the end of the game did not work. These are routes we run in our high school program. There's no motion in this offense. There's no pocket movement. They don't run Jalen Hurts. It's the end of the game! Run Jalen Hurts! What are we doing? What are we doing? You make nothing easy on this team. This is 4th and 11. Run the goddamn quarterback. Pick up some easy yards. You're going to see on this last play, there was a lot of space they were giving up underneath because they didn't really care about Jalen Hurts taking off. Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni didn't want to run this stuff this year. Nothing to make them uncomfortable. Mirrored routes and basic concepts from 2x2 and 3x1. We see 2x2 down here. I don't think anything ever good comes out of them running 2x2. The final play had no chance to succeed. 4th and 11. Linebackers drop deep. You have to run something underneath. So let's talk about this. Okay. So it's 4th. It's 4th and 11. Okay. What do the 49ers do here? So, pre-snap, AJ, kind of goes in motion. Okay. So we can see right here, when they back off, this is cover 4 immediately. Deep, 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 deep. Quarter, 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 quarter. This is quarters, okay? What do the Eagles dial up against quarters coverage with? What are they at? Like the 22, 23 yard line? What do they dial up? Oh, 4 verts! 4 verts! And not only that, this starts out as shotgun. Saquon is blocking! Saquon isn't even eligible. The backers drop deep. Okay. Now, before we get to anything, look how much space is here. Put Saquon over the ball. You know what the 49ers did to win this game? What they did on that one last play, they put Christian McCaffrey in the backfield and he ran a Texas route, an angle route. Boom, boom, right over the middle. He got on Nakobe Dean, burned his ass for the touchdown. Why is Saquon in pass pro? Just drop him over here. Saquon Barkley, I hope Saquon can pick up 11 goddamn yards. If Saquon can't pick up 11 yards over the ball here as a check down or something, we've got some problems, okay? Put him on something. Look how much space is here. They run 4 verts. Look at this. Hold on, wait, right here. Dead, 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 dead. They have Goddard run like an over route. Into what? The backers drop out. What, where are we going here? This is not how you beat cover 4. Maybe if you have some more space, you can get a one-on-one out here or something. You don't have any space down here. They took a timeout to call this. Okay, keep that in mind. They took a timeout to call this. But Nick Sirianni doesn't take a timeout on the last drive of the game when the defense, they're on their hands and knees, gassed on that last drive that the Niners went down and scored on. No timeout there. F you guys. F you. Defense, here's 2 middle fingers to you guys. You don't get a break. We're going to save our timeout so we can do this after they wasted like a minute before this? With terrible clock management by Nick Sirianni. This is what we call a timeout for? Where's Jalen Hurts supposed to go here? I saw somebody say, oh, throw it up to AJ. This dude can't catch. He's covered. He's covered. Hurts throws this. The safety's coming over here. That's double team. Gone. Dead. Same thing down here. Gone. Dead. Gone. There's nothing here. There's nothing over the middle. There's no crossers. What if they ran 2 crossers here? Look how much space is here. It's cover 4. They drop out. There's nothing but space. You can go on Google and look up how to beat cover 4. Crossers. Corner route, anything. Anything. Get these guys to drop deep and throw it over the middle. Look how much space is here. That's how you beat cover 4. Crossers, you can get someone to catch and run. Anything. Anything would have been better. Anything. And instead, they go 4 verts. Goddard runs a, I guess, in-breaker over the middle. Doink. Game's over. That right there. That's your Eagles season right here. This shows no growth. No growth from this coaching staff. Nothing. We'll just back off into shotgun and run the same crap that doesn't work. And this is what they did all season. Is run stuff that doesn't work. Or maybe it's worked in the past and it doesn't freaking work now. This is why we're mad. It's not just, oh, just blame it on the OC. Oh, OC did it again. This guy can't call a goddamn play. He can't do it. He couldn't do it. He never did it before in the NFL. And Nick Sirianni promoted this guy to be his offensive coordinator with no interviews for anyone else. Howie, what the hell? How did you allow this to happen? You put that much trust in Nick Sirianni? This guy was on the hot seat going into last year. He almost got fired last year. He almost got fired in 2023. He almost got fired in 2021. This guy sucks. This is not an NFL head coach. This guy is ass. He can't call the damn plays. He doesn't call the defense. He can't manage the game. We saw that yesterday. The team is sloppy. Is there anything on here that shows me the penalties? Nothing but penalties on the Eagles. What a joke. Holding, ripping a helmet off. What the hell, Marcus? We're ripping helmets off? What are we doing? Penalties every week. Sloppy play. The team's never prepared. His scheme sucks. This is what we're running, guys. This is what we're running. This is it. Right here. 4 verts or hitches. What do you guys want? You want more verts or more hitches? That's what this guy put his offensive coordinator out there to do. What are we doing? Where are we going with this? If you do not have a Shane Steichen or a Kellen Moore, this offense doesn't work. And you can sit here and make the lazy excuse that it's Jalen Hurts' fault, it's Davante, it's AJ. I know AJ was horrible yesterday. He did not make it better. At the end of the day, you can deflect all that blame you want. You can blame it on Jalen Hurts. You can say that with Josh Allen, they would win every game by 30. You can do all that. At the end of the day, there is no quarterback in the NFL that is doing anything with this. What's Josh Allen going to do here, guys? What's Justin Herbert going to do here, guys? What's Mahomes going to do here? I'd like to know. Just let me know. What are they going to do? Maybe try to run it? Sure, maybe. Maybe you could try that. Fair? Is he being coached to do that? Because I didn't see Jalen run as much this year. Is he being told, hey, don't run anymore, man? Don't run. We don't want you getting hurt or something. Because it's pretty evident that they coach this team scared. So they're telling Jalen here to throw the ball and set us up. Please tell me where any quarterback is throwing the ball here. Nowhere. Look at this shit. Like, where's this supposed to go? Hurts has no option. There's nothing here. Look at the space. Look at this shit. This is not an NFL offense. We have Jimmy Kempski here, one of the writers for the Eagles. Go check him out. Eagles postseasons in the Nick Sirianni era. 2021, one and done. Now, let's go back in time a little bit. 2021, the Eagles are under 500. They're like, 3-6? Nick Sirianni almost gets fired. You know what he does? He hands over the play calling to Shane Steichen. And they win, I don't know, six in a row or something, like 5-1 or something at the end of that season. And they make the playoffs and get embarrassed. Whatever. They were still finding their way as a team, okay? You can kind of chalk that one away, whatever. You know what you can't chalk away? The fact that Nick Sirianni had to give up play calling to Shane Steichen so he didn't get fired. He said that himself. Gannon said that to him. Gannon said, we're getting fired, dude, if you don't hand that play calling over, because he couldn't do it. 2022, Shane Steichen's running the show. They make the Super Bowl. You want to know some of the reasons why they lost the Super Bowl? Sure, it was the holding, okay? Sure, it was this or that. Do you know how many cowardly punts were in that game? Remember 4th and 2 when Sirianni punted at midfield? And the Chiefs got that big return with, what's his name? Kadarius Toney, and they won. Remember that? Remember how poorly coached that team was in that second half? The terrible game management, the terrible clock management by Nick Sirianni. So 2023, Shane Steichen gets a head coaching job. Sirianni promotes Brian Johnson. And again, they're one and done. And Brian Johnson at the beginning of the year, honestly, wasn't that bad. It wasn't great. It was better than Kevin Patullo. And in the second half of the year, what did teams do? They adjusted and they figured out, this offense can't beat a blitz. That's what it is. Oh, wait. That's the same thing other teams did to the Eagles the years before to beat them. This scheme can't beat a blitz. And they fall apart and collapse. Now, the defense was horrible that year, I know. That offense wasn't doing anything in the second half of the year. Jalen Hurts was an MVP candidate until that 49ers game that we lost. 2024. Super Bowl appearance and a win. Huh. Wonder why they made the Super... Oh! That's because Kellen Moore came in. Now, even then, that offense still had times last year where it looked awful. That looked terrible. Especially in the passing game. Now, Kellen Moore locked in at the end of the year and pretty much saved that season. The Eagles scored 145 points to end that year. He locked in. Kellen Moore had his moments that were horrible. He had some very good moments, though. And at the end of the day, when he had to, he took over that offense, called some great games at the end of the year. They won the Super Bowl. That wasn't even like an elite offensive coordinator. I would consider Shane Steichen a better OC. Okay? I thought Shane Steichen understood Jalen Hurts pretty well. And they still won, even with like a good OC. Right? A good one. He became a head coach. Saints offense looked pretty good at the end of the year. Kellen Moore is a good offensive mind. Okay? So you lose him to the Saints. This keeps happening. So 2025, you don't interview anyone else, and you bring in Kevin Patullo, the passing game coordinator. The passing game had been pretty questionable outside of 22, and some moments in 23. A lot of that was just Jalen Hurts. Like, let's be real here, okay? A lot of this is Jalen Hurts just trying to make something happen with idiots, okay? You can sit here and blame this on him all you want. I have seen Jalen Hurts make every throw. I've seen him win my team a Super Bowl. I've seen him step up in the big moments. I've seen him be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I've seen him be an elite dual-threat quarterback. I didn't see it this year. And what's the common denominator? Oh, another idiot calling the plays. Oh, pfft. Who would have thought? So, what happens now? Well, let's take a look. We have a head coach that can't call plays, and his coordinators get poached. So, what is the point of Nick Sirianni? He's not a Ben Johnson that can actually call the plays. He's not a Matt LaFleur. He's not one of these great offensive minds that can actually call plays. A Liam Cohen. I know the Jaguars lost. The first year with Liam Cohen, they went and looked amazing most of the year. And they went out in a dogfight with the Bills. And the Bills might win the damn Super Bowl in their first year. Liam Cohen looked awesome. Ben Johnson, awesome. These guys can actually call plays. Sean McVay, Andy Reid, all these guys can actually call plays. It doesn't matter when they lose their coordinators. It doesn't matter. Do you want to know why Harbaugh just got fired? Because his ass doesn't do anything. John Harbaugh is the same coach as Nick Sirianni. There's a reason he just got fired. There's a reason those teams underperformed for years. This isn't just some coincidence. This guy can't do anything. We have a tweet here from Victor Williams. Great guy. He says, Devontae Smith essentially said they've been running the same offense for years. That's been the case regardless of who's theoretically calling the plays. Whoever the Eagles bring in next, an extensive conversation needs to be had about Sirianni and his philosophy. So, yes, Sirianni's scheme is the same crap they're running. And it looks painful. And yeah, you can say, oh, it was good enough to get to the Super Bowl. Yeah, that's fine, okay? Fine. I'm going to tell you right now, Shane Steichen actually knew how to call the game, okay? And he adapted, and he changed things, and he made the team look a lot better. Kellen Moore, throughout the season, adapted and changed, okay? And it was still painful at times with those guys. There were still problems with the offense. You can sit here and say we went to the Super Bowl. I know that. There were still problems with that scheme and that offense. And you see it every time one of them leaves, it gets worse. This scheme sucks. Flat out. It sucks. I know it went to the Super Bowl. Unless you have a really good coordinator, it ain't doing shit. And Kellen Moore brought his own philosophy in. Shane Steichen brings his own philosophy in. Somebody else, hopefully, is going to bring their own philosophy in and try to merge them together. But at the end of the day, this offense has looked painful running this scheme. They don't adapt things. They don't change things. They try to run the same crap. So we have mostly Eagles tweets here. And he brings up a video of when Sirianni got hired. And essentially he says that there needs to be less thinking and more talent involved. This is what we're doing. We're trying to use talent to bail us out of terrible scheming. Of running verts, hitches, flats, mesh. This team loves mesh for some reason. They've been spamming it for 2 years now. They run the same plays, the same routes with nothing creative, no motion. There's no motion in here. Just win. Hey, talent, just let the talent win. There's no motion. The only time we actually saw motion was with Kellen Moore. Because he spams motion. This team doesn't do that. Nick Sirianni wants to drop back in shotgun on every play and run the offense that way. And guess what? It isn't working anymore. And it didn't work last year. And do you think it's going to work next year? Please. These teams adjusted mid-season to this crap. Do you think it's going to work next year? No! No, it's not going to work next year. Here's Shane Half, one of my favorite guys on Twitter. After the bye week, the Eagles' offense ranked 25th in EPA per play and 26th in success rate. This is the most expensive offense in the NFL. 25th in EPA per play. 25th. With Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, Devontae Smith, and A.J. Brown. And Dallas Goedert. Are we serious? Do we think Devontae and A.J. running curls all game, max protecting the curls, is going to work? No! No, this isn't going to work. And it didn't work. And teams adjusted. The 49ers defense? I'm sorry. It sucks. They're on their 50th linebacker. Okay, they have Eric Kendricks out there playing linebacker. This defense is destroyed. And I don't want to do the high horse, we're the Eagles, we're superior to everyone. Statistically, this defense sucks. The 49ers defense statistically sucks. There's nothing saying otherwise. And they embarrassed us. You want to look at some other defenses this year? The Bears defense is not very good. Okay? And we look like children against them. Chargers, pretty good defense. Commanders beat us the second time. Okay? The Bills, run defense, horrible. The Cowboys defense, God, awful. And both times, we almost lost. We won this one. We barely won this one. We didn't do anything in the second half of this game. You look through these teams, and the Eagles' offense did nothing. It did nothing. Here's your 2025 stats. 194 passing yards per game, 23rd. Rushing yards, the strength of this team, 116.9, 18th. Points for, 22 points a game, 19th. Most expensive offense in the NFL. And they're 25th in EPA per play and 26th in success rate. Hell, they won the turnover battle. Brock Purdy got picked off twice by Quinyon Mitchell. He fumbled a ball. They lost George Kittle. And they still won. They had Demarcus Robinson out there at receiver. They still won. Kyle Juszczyk was catching balls. Jawan Jennings is fighting to stay alive. He's been so injured. Jake Tonjes. And they won. You know why they won? Because their head coach, Kyle Shanahan, can actually scheme guys open. He makes the offense easy. Easy. And they killed us. They took down one of the best defenses in the NFL. Because Kyle Shanahan can actually scheme guys open. And can actually put together an offense that isn't a joke. Now, I didn't want to get too much into players here. Because I wanted this to be about Patullo and Sirianni. And there will come another video for A.J. Brown and everybody else. But to make everything worse, by Eagles Nation, Jake Elliott is statistically the worst extra point kicker in NFL playoff history by a large margin. He's 31 of 43 on extra points in the postseason, 72%. This guy is ass, and I'm not blaming it all on him. But this is what happens. Everything falls apart. Your kicking game falls apart. Your defense gets outcoached, outschemed. I mean, Vic's great, but Shanahan had his number. Your offense is totally inept. You have a coach who can't run plays, can't design anything, can't scheme anything, who can't manage a game, who put 2 offensive coordinators in positions that they didn't deserve to be in Brian Johnson, in Kevin Patullo, and in Sean Desai, and in Matt Patricia. And somehow, some way, they need to find a way to replace another coordinator, and I think another coach, because this isn't going to keep happening. This isn't working. This isn't sustained. The Eagles need to find a coach who can call plays and give Jalen Hurts some continuity. Every year, Jalen Hurts has a different coordinator and a different system and something different to learn. Every year, there's no continuity. It's time for these two to go. And if Nick Sirianni wants to get another year, that's fine. He won the Super Bowl. He's probably going to get some grace from the team. But if he wants to die on the Kevin Patullo sword, like Doug Peterson died on the Press Taylor sword in 2020, if that's what he wants to do, pack your damn bags and get out. Because as teams adapt and adjust and learn and keep figuring this offense out, it's just going to get worse, especially when your line's banged up all year. And some of your guys didn't perform like you'd want to this year, like with A.J. Brown. And you make everything more difficult for Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. When you make their lives more difficult with a scheme like this and plays like this, you should not be a head coach. You almost got fired multiple times for a reason, Nick Sirianni. I really think it's time for him to go. There's a lot of great minds out there right now. You know, at bare minimum, there needs to be a new offensive coordinator. So, there's my thoughts. Credit to the 49ers. You beat our ass. You owned us. You've cooked us ever since the NFC Championship game. Thank you for putting us out of our misery. Thank you. There's a lot of big decisions coming this offseason for the Eagles. There's potentially going to be some change next year with players. Again, we'll talk about all that in a separate topic. I wanted to focus fire today on Nick Sirianni and Kevin Patullo. So leave your thoughts down below. Do you want Nick Sirianni to be retained as the head coach? Hit the like button, the sub button, the post notifications. We'll be covering this team all off season and for the foreseeable future because I just love suffering. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Love you. Bye, guys.